This is circuit court. You just be quiet.
You go to the courthouse, it comes up.
You need to listen to me instead of talking, okay? Are you Matthew Aldridge?
I'm the attorney of fact for Matthew Aldridge.
You were what?
The attorney of fact.
Attorney what?
Of fact.
Attorney of fact. And what does that mean? What is your name? What is your name?
My name?
Yes, sir.
I don't have.
You don't have a name? Well, I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation, and I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense.
This sovereign citizen walks into court and won't even confirm his own name, and you can already tell the judge is not in the mood for whatever this is about to be. He starts throwing out terms like attorney in fact, like that somehow makes him a completely different person in the eyes of the law. The judge isn't buying a second of it, and it's clear that this is about to turn into a battle of wills. So how far is this guy actually going to take it? Let's dive right in here and find out.
Well, let me explain to you. Only an attorney at law can stand in court and represent a criminal defendant. And to do so otherwise violates the criminal law statutes of the state of Tennessee and could land someone who attempts to represent themselves as an attorney at law in serious trouble. I understand what you're saying. I understand you're saying an attorney in fact. And what I want you to understand is that if you have a power of attorney, then you need to demonstrate that power of attorney. Do you have a legal document called a power of attorney?
No, I do not this time.
Okay. Then you don't have any authority to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge in this court. You have no legal authority, nor do you have any authority through a legal document to represent or to act on behalf of Matthew Aldridge. Apparently there's a copy here. Yeah. All right, this is in the state of Tennessee of Cheatham County and Chancery Court, which is filed in the wrong county because in the wrong court, because this is circuit court. You just be quiet.
You go to the courthouse, it comes up.
You need to listen to me instead of talking, okay? This is a challenge to the standing. The Supreme Court of the United States has stated that no corporation has standing anything to man. And there's a quotation for Rundle versus Delaware Raritan Canal Company. And then it said, as well as it being a maximum of law, citing certain Latin phrases, dissimilar things ought not to be joined by a definition of Black's Law Dictionary. So the respondent in error requires that the state of Tennessee Incorporated and Cheatham County Chancery Court prove their standing to proceed against a man in any court of law. You have 15 calendar days to prove your standing or forever yield to estoppel, waiver, and fraud, and cease and desist this proceeding immediately. More time is available if requested. And then this was signed by Matthew O'Neill Aldridge. Is that your signature?
That's the respondent in error signature.
All right. Well, I find that Matthew Neal Aldridge has failed to appear personally in this court for the plea day on his case, which was set for trial tomorrow. And as a result, you have no standing, sir, under what I know what you're trying to do is to try to use the sovereign citizen approach to this situation. And I'm simply telling you that you do not have the right to represent Matthew Neal Aldridge. If you are, in fact, Matthew Neal Aldridge, then you need to say so and stop this nonsense, because what you're attempting to do has no legal effect. You cannot challenge the criminal law or the jurisdiction of this court by simply filing some legal mumbo jumbo having to do with civil litigation. That has civil litigation in it. It is not a criminal case.
I mean, at this point, I honestly don't even know what this sovereign citizen thinks he's accomplishing in this courtroom. The amount of confidence that he has while being completely wrong is almost impressive, because the judge has already laid out exactly how the court and the law actually works here, and he just keeps acting like none of it applies to him. And watching this play out, you have to wonder how someone convinces themselves that they can just invent their own legal rules, because that's not how the justice system actually works, and everyone follows the same laws, and you don't get to opt out of court just because you found some sovereign citizen theory online. Then on top of it, he starts acting like he's basically a lawyer and throwing around legal terms and case citations like he's about to argue in front of the Supreme Court. And it's kind of wild that he thinks knowing a few buzzwords makes him feel qualified to practice law in front of an actual judge. But at the end of the day, this is peak sovereign citizen behavior, and every single time someone has this exact move in a real courtroom, it ends the same way.
That you have cited. So it has no effect on this court regarding the criminal statutes of this court. This court is empowered under the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the state of Tennessee, and by the duly elected citizens of Cheatham County to empower and enforce the laws of the state of Tennessee. And that is what I'm going to do regarding Matthew Lynn Aldridge. Mr. Aldridge is set for today to appear in court personally on what we call our last plea day before his trial date tomorrow.
Is that an Article 3 trial?
To what?
Would that be an Article 3 trial? A trial by jury with jury?
It would be a trial by jury, certainly it would be, but I don't know who you are. And I don't think you have any authority if you are not Matthew Lynn Aldridge to appear before this court. And you're wasting valuable time to all of these other citizens who are here today. So when I'm talking, you stop talking. No, you will when I'm finished talking. You are wasting the court's time by doing this, and I'm just simply instructing you that if you are in fact Matthew Lynn Aldridge, then this is your last day to settle your case. The trial date is set for tomorrow, and unfortunately it will not go forward because of the fact that I have a conflict and I have to be in Stewart County on a civil matter. So we're going to assign a new trial date for Matthew Lynn Aldridge. General, we're going to need to set a trial date in July. All right. To Matthew Aldridge and the individual standing before me whose name must not be uttered, then we will set a July 15th trial date for Mr. Aldridge. Whatever this document is that you have filed is in fact invalid because it does not cite any valid criminal statute, and therefore I'm denying whatever that might be in the way of a motion. The trial date will be July 15th. The last day for Mr. Aldridge to enter a plea or go to trial will be July the 8th. July the 8th. Now, we're going to give you a card. If you are in fact Matthew Aldridge and you're just playing games with the court regarding this nonsense that you filed, then you may get this card and you may go on about your business. If you are not Matthew Aldridge, then I would suggest to you, you relay to Mr. Aldridge that he must appear on July the 8th, or a bond revocation will take place, and his case will be will take place with him in jail, incarcerated on the 15th. That's the judgment of the court. You need to take your piece of paper and go on about your business.
I mean, at the end, none of it actually works. Obviously, I mean, it was never going to begin with. The judge tosses the motion out entirely and sets a new trial date, regardless of whatever legal theory this guy thought he had. He even warns that if this really is Mr. Aldridge playing games, and showing up to his own trial like this could end with him coming back into custody. It's honestly kind of stunning watching someone gamble their own freedom on a strategy that literally has 0% success rate in every courtroom in the country. The judge stays remarkably composed through the whole thing, but you can just tell that his patience is wearing thin by the end. And at the end of the day, this guy didn't get anything except a new court date and a stern warning. This is a perfect example of why these sovereign citizen tactics keep getting people into more trouble, not less. But drop a comment, let me know if you think he shows up on July 8th or skips it entirely. And if you enjoyed this one, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.